hello, good morning, good evening, and good night, and good afternoon to everyone. This is one more Spiritual Light episode. Today it is 27th of May 2026,
Or
and our topic
spiritual
is
light.
mediumship with responsibility and balance. So, Munir, it is with us, Charles and Silvia. So, we're gonna have here 1 hour to discuss the topic mediumship. If you do have any questions, if, if you do have any doubts, please write your message on the comment box and we will reply or we will answer your question here live. Okay? So let my colleagues introduce themselves. Let's start with our special guest today. So good evening, Munir. How are you, my friend?
Good evening, Stevan. I'm fine, thanks. How are you? Hello,
Good, good.
Silvia, Charles. It is a pleasure to be here with you once again. And my welcome also to those watching us. It is always very, very nice to be here and discuss so important topics, especially this one regarding mediumship.
Good, good. So, good evening, Silvia. How are you, my dear?
Oh,
I disappeared.
uh,
Hello, good evening. I can't see me. I seem to have disappeared. Can you hear me?
Yes.
For some reason, there is a problem. Anyway, nice to see you all. Nice to see you, Munir and Charles and you.
thanks.
Everybody looking very nice. And welcome, everyone. Participate. This is a very important topic today, talking about mediumship. It's always people ask lots of questions about it, so it's very important. So join in, ask questions, make your comments, and it'd be wonderful to have this time with you all.
Great, my dear. Great. So, bonsoir, Charles.
Bonsoir, Steven. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Indeed, very happy to talk about this important subject and to demystify it a little bit and show the vision from the spiritist body of knowledge about it.
Wonderful. So, thank you, Charles. Let me see what happened with Silvia here. Let me see if she will return. And let's go for my introduction here. So, as I said, today's topic is mediumship with responsibility and balance. And I'd like to start to make a serious statement. Mediumship is neither a privilege nor a spectacle. A spectacle. Spectacle. It is a sacred responsibility. Spiritism teaches that mediumship is a natural human faculty that should be guided by morality, humility, study, and service. In a world increasingly fascinated by spiritual phenomena, Kardec reminds us that the true value of mediumship is not in extraordinary manifestations, so like the shows, but it is ability to console, educate, and morally elevate humanity. And tonight we will reflect on how to practice mediumship responsibly and maintain balance between spiritual sensitivity and everyday life. So that was my my introduction. Our dear Silvia is here, ready. Can
Yeah,
you hear us, my dear?
I- yes, I've got problem with the internet sometimes. So
Okay,
okay
good.
now.
Now everything's fine. Okay, great. So first things first, let me see if you have any comments here. Not yet, but we do have 8 people live already. So uh, let's start with our guest, Munir. Quick question for you. What is mediumship according to Spiritism?
Well, Stephen, according to Spiritism, mediumship is the faculty that allows the communication between an incarnate spirit, us, and a discarnate one. And it is, as you mentioned, a faculty that requires a lot of responsibility, just like any other faculty that we may have. It has a special purposes that perhaps sometimes we don't realize that we use for our own benefit and sometimes in a very selfish way. But mediumship has a special particular aspect, which is we get in contact with the world of the spirits. And it is vast, it is huge, you see, and that's why it's so important to understand what it is. It's important to study. It is important to have high moral standards in order to make good use of this faculty. We are entering in contact with spirits in the spiritual world, and it is a faculty also that is within us, inside our inner world. And that's why sometimes people get so disturbed by the faculty, especially at the beginning, because it's something that is not on the outside where you just shut the door, you close your eyes and it's gone. No, it is inside us, it is within us. And because of that, of course, it is sometimes subtle, sometimes it makes, I would say, a mess within us, and people get imbalanced, people get disturbed, people get disoriented. And that's why it's so important to bring to light all the teachings that we get from Spiritism regarding mediumship. We know that within the 5 books that compose Spiritism, there's one totally dedicated to mediumship, the Medium's book. So we see the importance of that, of knowing and not just practicing it. It is like going to fiddle with high voltage wires without knowing anything about electricity. We certainly get an electric shock, and it won't be a nice experience. I would draw this comparison regarding mediumship. That's why it's so important to study, so important to keep our personal moral standards at the highest level. So we see that the faculty is not just like any faculty that we don't see the consequences of the bad use of that. We reap that immediately. So that's why we need to know it very well.
Perfect. Perfect. My dear Silvia, I know mediumship is one of your favorite topics. Would you like to add anything
Yes,
here?
yes, it is. Well, it is an important point, and one of the oh, hello,
Yeah, we're
can
here.
you see me? Sorry, hello. Oh, I've disappeared. Please be.
Uh, okay, Charles, I transfer the for you.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Okay, hope Silvia will manage to fix the problem. Yes, indeed, mediumship is something which is a natural faculty, and it exists since humankind exists. We have registers of mediumship in the antiquity. So it has always been, how to say, mystified somehow, because nobody knew exactly what it is about, with whom the medium is getting contact. Are those contacts possible to fail or not, or are they highly trustable? And all these questions made such that there has been a lot of poor knowledge or ignorance even about mediumship, and that it has been most of the time misused. And when I say misused, it is used to how to say, to get money from people who are naive, who are believing that is something fantastic. And that is, by the way, the reason why in the Old Testament, in Moses, there is a prohibition to practice mediumship, because the Hebrews from that time, they got this habit, and this bad habit even, from the Egyptians. And it was they abused a lot about it amongst themselves, and this is why, as a kind of a civil code, the Old Testament, Moses forbid the mediumship. To nowadays, it's still poor knowledge about it. So Munir explained it very well, and we will develop it during this live. And Kardec really brought, he worked heavily to demystify the mediumship, to show it as a natural faculty, like the faculty to talk or to listen that we have. It is a faculty given by God. We can use it to say good things. We can also misuse it, saying bad things or trying to cheat or to lie or whatever. So mediumship is a neutral faculty that anyone can use as per his free will, nevertheless bearing the consequences if he is misusing it, and getting also the rewards if he used it in the right purpose. So this is how to say, just to introduce it. Silvia, you are back, so I hand over to you. Taking the
Yes,
advantage, this is working right now.
yes, take advantage. Yes, it's, I missed some of what you said, but I got quite a bit. I think it's very important to realize as well that, in this Medium's book, in question 159, Kardec does ask the spirits about mediumship, and he says everyone who is in any degree influenced by spirit is by that very fact a medium. This faculty is inherent in man and is therefore no exclusive privilege. In fact, there are very few persons in whom some rudiments of mediumnity are not found. And I think this is a very important thing, because basically what the Spirit's teaching us is that every one of us, each and every one of us, is a medium, because we are spirits incarnated. We are spiritual beings living in a physical body, and everyone is a medium. But of course, what they say here what the Spirit explain is that usually mediums are the ones who have a little ostensive mediumship. They have their faculties more open than most people. So for this, they are called mediums, but basically each and every one of us is a medium. And it's very interesting. So, I'm so afraid of spirits, afraid of ghosts. And you forget that they themselves are spirits, and they will be a ghost as well at one time. So I think this is very important, because it's when you talk about being a gift, something special, it's not a gift in that sense of because you are special, but it is a gift that's given us to help us to do a little more with your incarnation than maybe other people who do not have a sense of mediumship. So I think this is important, and there's so many types of mediums as well. So I think this is a point that's important for us to put across, that is not as something special, that if you are a medium, you're something different from everybody else, because that's not the nature of being a medium. So there we are.
Okay, so this is a bad news for a lot of people, saying mediumship is something special. It's not special. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. You know, but at the same time, as I said at the beginning, it's full of responsibility. Um, and and when we go down to this path, uh, we assume commitment with ourselves and with the spiritual world, both together. So, and these need to be very well uh, very well understood by us, because we used to say, "Oh, mediumship is a gift," but it's a gift followed by responsibility. So, and my dear Silvia, what role does moral conduct play in mediumship?
Absolute. It's an absolutely role, because as you say, just to make the point of affirm the point that you made, uh, mediumship, it is a gift. It is a gift, not that it makes us special or better than anybody else, like sometimes some people understand, but it's a gift in a sense that is given to us, something extra that we can do to help ourselves, our spirit, in progress, in enlightenment. It's something that's given, and also it's not forced on us. We choose to accept this mediumship, because mediumship is physical. It's not something that you imagine is extra or paranormal. It's not. It's part of the physical body, actually, in being a medium. And the responsibility, of course, it's we are dealing with forces that sometimes we don't quite understand. We have made a commitment to the spiritual benefactors, to our friends, to our spiritual guides from the spiritual world, our friends who help us, who are guiding us through our lives here on earth while we're here, and the amount of things that we need to learn. And the moral, it's something that is very, very important. A good medium, actually, some people, the more moral you are, you better medium, and in a sense you are, but mediumship does not depend on your morals. You can be a not very nice person, and you can have mediumship, but those who have a moral standard, those who try every day to be a little better than they were before, then they will have around the spirits that are of good nature, of a higher nature, because this is mediumship is for us to help others, is to help people who are discarnated in the spiritual world, and even people who are incarnated, because, like Munir was saying, we work between the two worlds. That's the thing, the meaning of the medium, working between the two worlds. And I think it's of the utmost importance for a medium to have a high moral standard, to try to be kind and understanding and charitable, and have a peaceful way of understanding life, because this is something that helps us. And it's not very different from, when we are in our daily lives. If you are kind, if you are responsible, if you fulfill the things that you said, I'm going to do something, and you do it with the best of your abilities, and you help others, the kind of people that you have around you are people like that, aren't they? They are kind, they are loving, they are helpful, and that's exactly the same thing. The more moral we are, the higher is our effort to be a better person, to be more kinder, more loving and accepting and charitable, and to read good books, and to really have a peaceful mind. We will have good spirits around us, and that's, I think, is one of the important things in work for a person to work in mediumship. Sorry, I don't know if I went around too much, but I think is essential. Like it's essential in life. A medium is not a medium just when they go to a mediumship group. A medium is a medium all the time, 24 hours. So we must not forget that. Isn't that so, Charles? Oh, Munir.
Charles?
Yes, exactly. I mean, one say in French, qui se ressemble s'assemble. In English, I think it's birds of a feather flock together. And if you have good thoughts, if the medium has good thoughts, he will attract good persons and also good spirits. If he has bad thoughts, he will attract bad persons and also bad spirits. So the morality of the medium is key in what type of spirit is coming close to him and is communicating through him. So it's absolutely key. There can be only exception that a bad medium or someone bad gets a good spirit to help someone which has the merit to be helped. But the general case is really if the person is not good, or if he has some trends or whatever, or bad habits or whatever, very hardly he will attract good spirits, even being medium. So again, it's a natural faculty, and it's our responsibility. It's a gift, if we can say so. But God does not give privilege to anyone. He treats all his creatures in the same way. He also does not hinder no one. We have all the same chances. And if some of us are, as Silvia told, we are all mediums. If some of us has the mediumship more ostensibly, it's for a mission. It's because it has been decided like this before our incarnation. And this mission is to be fulfilled. We cannot fail to it. If we fail to it, even having mediumship and having spirits giving us advices and hints and whatever, if we misuse it, the responsibility will even be higher. And by the way, since the medium is feeling closer or stronger the influence of the spirits, he will feel also stronger when bad spirits are coming closer to him. So this is somehow impelling him or encouraging him to work more on his moral reform to become a better person.
Wonderful. Charles, thank you. And Munir, want to say something?
Oh yes, I think it's important to point out that mediumship is an organic faculty. It is actually a window that our physical body has that allows our spirit to get into this contact with the spiritual world. And we are basically making use of our spiritual faculties. We all have. When we return to the spiritual world, these faculties will be used in full. At least that's what we expect, to be able to interact with the spiritual world. But while we are here in the physical body basically restricts the manifestation of these faculties And normally we end up only with the five physical senses. We know hearing and sight and so on. So this is what we normally have to interact with the outside world. But some of us, due to the organic condition in our brain, in the gland, we can have these, how would I say, window that helps us see, outside the physical world, and then get into contact with the spirits. Why are some of us born with this? Silvia mentioned that we all have this because we are all spirits. Some of us have these spiritual faculties completely dormant while we are in a physical body, totally shut, temporarily shut. But some of us use that. Why? Why am I taking up a body that will allow me to get in contact with the spiritual world? Certainly, it's for my moral advancement and to foster this moral advancement in the society where I am. Why is that? Not intellectual. Spirits are not here to tell us how to sort out our daily problems. We have to practice that to exercise our intelligence. But regarding moral standards, this contact with spirits, have these, in my view, this very important purpose. And that's why it's not a faculty that we have that we should use just to gain material prestige, fortune, and whatever regarding material terms. It's actually for us, we are having this opportunity to use this window, and while here to get into contact with this other dimension, with the spiritual world, and get advice from other spirits. But as Charles, yourself, Stevan, and Silvia mentioned, our moral standard will dictate the spirits around us. Not that inferior spirits won't be allowed to communicate through us, because we know that in rescue work, we don't rescue good spirits. We rescue spirits who are suffering. Then one could say, okay, so if I'm receiving communication from, a suffering spirit, does it mean that I'm morally of a lower standard? No, I wouldn't say no. It's not the case. It's just that we become instruments of good spirits. And as instruments of good spirits, when we have a higher moral standard, these spirits won't allow evil spirits to approach us and to, damage, I would say, the faculty that we have, or misuse the faculty that we have. Whereas if I'm not making good use of that because I keep my moral standards at a very low level, that will open an avenue for all sorts of spirits to come and use our faculty, because we basically established a channel with them. We by having lower moral standards and evil intentions with our faculty, these spirits will see a way to come and approach. And of course, the good spirits will walk away, will look at us from a distance, seeing we have our free will. We can choose, to use our faculty for a good purpose or not. But I would say in general, if we have mediumship, it's very clear, it is there. There is a purpose for that.
Okay, good. And
sorry, Stevan. No,
go ahead.
Go on. I was just going to make a point, because mediumship is a very serious business if you work on it. But I think this, we talked about this and it's being referred to, but mediums, they existed everywhere. Rich, poor, this religion, that religion, people who don't believe in God, don't accept anything. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are not mediums. And a lot of problems sometimes, we're going to talk about that after. So even though you don't know that you are a medium, you have no idea, but you still can be a medium. It doesn't, you can be a very rich person, high class, or a person who are poor. So mediumship is for everyone. And I think one of the important points as well, when we talk about the morals the medium, that he needs seriousness and everything. In spiritism, mediumship is not a profession. You're not a professional medium. We work, we have a professions, whatever work we do to survive, to live in this world, that we need to pay a mortgage, we need to pay our bills, we work for that. Mediumship is something that we give in our extra hours, is a dedication that we have to. And I think one of the things think about as well, the moral of the mediums is the point of that we need to be committed. You need commitment, and this is very, very important. The responsibility is very, very important, to be responsible. So sorry I interrupted you, Stevan.
No, no,
And I can see I disappeared
it,
again from the
it's kind of,
screen.
yeah, it's kind of connected, because my next question it is, how can a medium avoid uh, pride, fascination with this phenomena, like become a I am star, because I'm doing this, I am star. And for those who doesn't know a little bit of the spiritism story in Brazil, we had a wonderful medium called, two wonderful mediums called, one called Chico Xavier, the other one Divaldo Franco. Both have a very simple life, and they had astonished mediumship. I don't know, 100 books published, helping a lot of people, doing their charity. And in a single moment, they raise their hand and say, hey, I am special. And because I am special, because I have mediumship, I need this or need that. So the question is for you, Charles, how we can avoid this happening in someone who discover they have a very good mediumship, and this not goes to a wrong path.
Yeah, good question, Steven. So as first thing is to understand what it is. So to study about it. What is mediumship? And what Silvia just said, and you also stressed, Steven, is mediumship. You basically, there is a spirit which is coming and talking or writing or communicating through the medium. So if the spirit comes, there is mediumship. If the spirit does not come, there is no mediumship. That's why mediumship does not depend only on the medium. It depends also on the spirit. So when the spirit cannot or does not want or is not allowed to come, there is simply no communication. So to live from mediumship is exactly, or to take pride out of mediumship is you attributing yourself a pride or a revenue from something you do not control. Because the spirit comes when he wants and when he can, and not like this, or just to satisfy the financial appetite of the medium himself. Because there is no money in the spiritual world. The credit card doesn't work. So the point of view is completely different, and it's a huge mistake thinking that we can get some status or some pride or whatever, or even some money through mediumship. It's simply not by that. And so when we know this, of course, we know also what is needed to attract the good spirits, as I said formerly. And this is basically humility. to stay humble. Chico Xavier is a perfect example. He could have won millions with all the books he wrote. He didn't won a penny. Because it was really also he could get famous. He become famous. A lot of people looking for him. Thousands of people queuing in order to talk with him and whatsoever. But he always stayed very simple under his advocato tree and in his small house, in the small room. So he never fall into this trap of seeking some status through the mediumship. And that's why Chico is Chico, That's why he's so known and so respected everywhere. When you compare Chico with some of these mediums who are excessive, I'm a medium with a pride and whatsoever, and when you look to the communications they receive, you are, there is a lot of bling bling, but not very serious things, And so this all, knowing all this, we see that humility, prayer, remembering that mediumship belongs to God, that it is done for the advancement, moral advancement of the medium, and also to help our neighbor. And this, understanding this, leads us to deal with it with humility and to, because another danger, as you talked in the question, Stevan, is medium with pride is very easily fascinated by some spirits who are taking advantage of his pride in order to cheat him somehow, or to giving him a false importance and leading to huge deceptions or disappointments.
Yes, yes. And also, before we go into Munir and Silvia, Javier Cantu, he wrote, great point. A medium of think of themselves as above others, they must check their pride constantly, especially if they are feeling ill. Practicing mediumship while feeling unwell is dangerous, right? I would say, Javier, yes, it is.
Depends.
It is. The medium should be the first one to raise the hand and say, today I'm not okay. I not you physical you. Perhaps he has controversial thoughts. He had a problem at work and he is not concentrated well. And should be the first one to raise their hand and say, hey guys, today I stay here on support instead of the mediumship. Uh, and this is one of the points we say, if you pay for a mediumship session and the medium is not in the right moment, because you have paid and this medium have received money, he's kind of obliged to deliver something. Doesn't matter what he is, how his mental health or state of health. He needs to deliver something because he got money. And when you pay something, you are expecting to receive something. Instead, if you raise your hand without accepting anything in exchange and say, hey guy, I'm not okay today, let's leave this, you have no obligation to deliver anything. So this is one of the points. We will go deeper. Yeah, but mainly I would say the medium should be the first one to do the self-analysis and say, I'm okay to the session today. I will be contributing with the session, or are you gonna cause trouble? I need to answer this freely. Silvia, You like this type of answer question, so
Well, I like that kind of question. Those are important questions. What the question that he asked is, Practice medium while feeling unwell is dangerous. No, mediumship is not dangerous per se. If a person is not feeling physically well, and there are times, actually, there are times in which the person is physically unwell, they are going through a difficulty in their health, the spirits themselves will draw the mediumship, because that's the time that the medium will need to be treated, you need to take care of himself, of his health, and this is very, very important. Not feeling well, I mean, like you said, I think one of the important things that if you decided to be a medium and work in mediumship, and I think we are talking about mediumship as we practicing spiritism. I think Charles and Munir and yourself, we talk about mediumship as working within the boundaries that spiritism teaches us. If you, it's not, oh, I have a headache, or I'm not feeling, I had a hard day at work, whatever. It does not mean that you don't need to go to the meeting, because it's a very, very strong commitment. Because I think one of the things of the mediumship that, and I think, probably we're going to talk about a little bit of the dangers of mediumship, is that usually sometimes during the day, the days that you have a meeting in the evening, for instance, because we all work during the day, we have headaches, we have pain, and suddenly you feel very down. Oh, I don't think I'm going to the meeting today, because we have a lot of spiritual influence trying to hold us back, isn't it, Munir, from going to a meeting. And we need to be aware of that, because depending on the things, like Charles was saying, we need to have prayer, we need to have humility, you need to be aware as well, because sometimes you get, oh no, I don't feel like I'm going, I'm so tired, my head hurts, and then as soon as you get into the meeting, everything disappears. It's because you're going so under some influence, and you go and you work, and even if you feel unable to work, as you said, you sit and you just have a prayer, and you have healing from the other people there, but you go to the meeting. It's a very, very important. Of course, if someone is physically ill, going through a difficulty, illness, he will stop. He's under medical treatment, and he cannot, because his body is not well enough to be able to donate, the ectoplasm and everything that's necessary for the work. Because I think one of the things that is very important to understand about the mediumship, even though sometimes a person does not know that they are medium, their mediumship can be used by the spirits to create phenomenon and all sorts of things. The person themselves, actually, there is a story in the medium's book of this house. They were suffering a lot of problems with poltergeist and everything, and the maid who worked for the house there, she was terrified. She was really, really scared to death of what was happening, and actually she was the one who was the medium, donating all that energy for the poltergeist to work in the house. And this is very important, because we have this is physical. This thing is used for the spirits to do. So when we are physically ill, going through a illness, our body is not ready. We need to be treated, we need to be taken care of, and you can step out of work until you feel better again, but just feeling, oh, I'm not so well today, is not enough to stop going to the meetings. Sorry, I'll give it to you now.
Munir, what do you think about?
Yes. I think we have our imperfections, regardless of being mediums or not being mediums. We have our imperfections. If I'm a selfish person, I'll be a selfish person, being medium, not being medium. But the advantage of having mediumship is that we have an extra reason to work hard on our imperfections and to acquire uh, our virtues. And it's really important. Silvia mentioned something, that there is a whole variety of types of mediumship. We can be medium, sometimes fully aware of that, sometimes not that aware of that. We know there's something around us. We shouldn't forget that being medium or not being medium, we are surrounded by spirits 24/7. Everywhere, wherever we go, there are spirits there, all sorts of spirits. And when we have mediumship, we are sensitive to their presence. We perceive the presence. And of course, it's not our moral standards per se, but the effort we are making to improve ourselves in that sense. And I see mediumship as a very important, a wonderful opportunity for us to exercise the virtues that will help us rid ourselves from our imperfections. Otherwise, you would take different ways without mediumship. We would have the deceptions in life, just to put us to think about, am I going the right way? Am I being too, too not that evolved in my relationship with other people, with life per se? Perhaps, I should put myself in other people's shoes more often. But with mediumship, we are invited to do that. And it's paramount that we do that work in order to attract good spirits. As I mentioned, we may be an instrument in the hands of good spirits to help spirits that need help, who are not that evolved yet. If they need help, that's because they are, still in a condition that requires some help from mediums. So I think it's important, as Charles mentioned, mediumship is not for us to gain materially speaking. It's not here for that. Good spirits won't come to help us in our profession, in the sense of helping us make money. They won't spare us the effort of developing ourselves intellectually, but they are here to guide us, to inspire us, to help us, to prepare ourselves even to, return to the spiritual life in a better condition. We shouldn't forget. And when mediums tend to be proud because they are mediums, they say, "Oh, I'm a medium, special. I'm someone, who has special gifts and favored by God because I'm wonderful." You see, we should remember that if we need mediumship to help us, that's because we need to catch up with some other people who perhaps haven't had this faculty in this incarnation, but are doing a wonderful job, being charitable, being good, less selfish, less proud. So we need this opportunity to catch up with them. So we should see the other way around. Perhaps if I have this mediumship, and mediumship is pushing me towards helping others, that is because I need that. I have things to sort out from my past, and a way found that we could do that in a more effective way is coming with a faculty in this special body, special because it allows the faculty to manifest itself, so that we could use as an instrument for our improvement and improvement of those around us. Just like any faculty, I could use my intelligence to help people, to cure them, to find solution for so many problems that we have, to avoid situations that we cause a lot of suffering. But I can be the cause of suffering. I can be the cause of ruin. I can be the cause of disaster with my intelligence that is not well directed. So it's the same with mediumship. It's a wonderful opportunity, but it doesn't mean that we know we are good spirits because we have it. On the contrary, I see it, the other way around, actually.
Beautiful. So we have only 5 minutes. I would say I would leave these 5 minutes for you guys to give your final. But 1 second, we have a question here from Javier as well. Mediumship is a win-win situation. Give and you shall receive. Am I understanding that correctly? Silvia, since you're shaking your head, please answer.
Very briefly, because maybe Charles would like to talk a little bit about that. Absolutely. I think one of the main points about mediumship and you being a medium is the need as well to educate yourself, to study, to learn about mediumship. And I mean, we in Spiritism, we are so blessed with the amount of work, to study and to learn, and we need to improve our minds, not only in the spiritual things, but learn everything, because the more you learn, the more you develop intellectually as well as morally, the better medium you are, because it's easier for the spirits to communicate, you pass on messages. The thing as well, sometimes as a medium, we will not receive messages from very enlightened spirits, because we are there in the process of working and helping those who are in greater needs than ourselves. But what we can never forget is that every spirit that comes through us, be a very high spirit or the one in greater need, they are teaching us, and the more suffering they are teachers, because they are telling us, look, that's what I did. Don't do what I've done. You can have a better, you can improve yourself now, not to fall in the same traps that I did. So they're teaching us all the time, even the most suffering of the spirits will come through. And it's for us a privilege to work with them. So to be a working medium, work with good spirit and do a good work, we need to be serious, we need to study, we need to improve ourselves intellectually and morally, we need to dedicate our time, we need to give for free what we have received for free. That's how in spiritism mediumship is: give for free what you receive for free. And demands commitment, demands sometimes that you have to go to the meeting and you have to make the sacrifice to take that time to give that. And sometimes it can be difficult. It is difficult for us because there are so many things that happens in our lives. But what he says that we win. What we get back, what we receive back is not even a quarter of what we put in. So it is a privilege in that sense. It's a gift, and it's the most wonderful things that we can do. So that's it.
Thank you, Silvia. Thank you. I hope you have your answer, Javier. Okay, so to wrap up, Munir and Charles.
Yes, Stevan, I think, people shouldn't be scared of the faculty. People should take it seriously, should study just like anything else. If we want to make use of whatever, we need to understand it, we need to evaluate it, and of course, see our conditions and do the best that we can in order to make good use of whatever we have. And mediumship is just like, other faculty that we have in this sense, but with a greater responsibility, because we are getting into contact with a world, as we mentioned before. And of course, that can be, at least should be, for our benefit and the benefit of others around us.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Munir. Also, good evening to our dear Elsa. She's in Athens for the Spiritism meeting there. So thank you, my dear Elsa. We are missing you. Charles, your turn, my friend.
Yes, indeed. I mean, mediumship can be a win-win situation when it is correctly used, but it can also be a lose-lose situation when it is badly used. And I think Munir said it very wisely. It is not to serve our material interests, it's to serve our spiritual interests. Material stuff is temporary. The day we go back sooner or later to the spiritual realm, we do not take anything material with us. We only take the question: what did you do with this faculty or with the gift you had? Did you use it? We need to report what we have done. And if we have done good, indeed, it's a real win-win situation. And in the spiritual realm, the more we give, the richer we are. So the accounting works opposite compared with financial accounting here on the world. So that's it. Thank you a lot for this opportunity and for your attention.
Okay, Silvia, your final remarks.
Yes, just a thing for everyone who's out there who have not had the opportunity to read the Medium's book. It would be maybe a good idea to read. It's not terribly easy, but there are many, many questions the spirits explain so clearly. So anyone who's out there and wants to know a little bit about mediumship, just get the book. It's quite easy to and read it because it's very important. Because there is just one thing very briefly. The Medium's book, it teaches you about mediumship, but it's not a book for you to become a medium because you are born a medium or you develop into a mediumship. You don't practice to become a medium. It's like a talent that you have inborn. You can educate your mediumship, but if you don't have an ostensive medium, you will not become a medium, a ostensive medium. I think that's important, and it's really good. Charles.
And one more thing, the Medium's book is available for free download in English on the internet and also in French.
In English,
In
and
French,
if I'm not wrong, 13 languages, isn't it?
Yes, I think so.
If you go to Kardecpedia, you can download from there as well, even Chinese and Arabic. So
Arabic, yes, and I think in Hebrew they recently they
I think
did the Medium's book,
yes,
the
in Hebrew.
Spirit's book, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's out there to read because it's not only for mediums, but it's for your daily lives. Because if we remember that we are all mediums, all of us, even if you don't have a sense of mediumship, we have intuition, we have a feeling of being around us. It can give you an explanation for your daily lives. It's not, it's for everyone, really. And like Charles said, it's easy to download and you can get it. And you do yourself a favor. It's a wonderful book. Wonderful.
Yeah. And Elsa can confirm, but not this time she traveled to Greece, but a couple of years or more years ago, she went to Greece, and she found the Spirit's book translated into Greek.
Yeah.
So
Yes, sir.
okay, so let's go to our announcements here. And next week, on the 3rd of June, we will have our friend Roberto Watanabe, and the topic is purpose and meaning, why we are here. That's a good question. So don't lose it. Next Wednesday, 9 p.m. So if you don't want to read the book by yourself and you want to be in a group, that's a great opportunity for you to start to read, to join a Medium's book online study group every Saturday, 10:30 a.m. So you can join. The QBR code is here on the screen, so you can join anytime and have Munir, Charles, and Guilherme as a coordinators. So every other Sunday from 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. London time, we have João de Angeles study group. It is with Dr. Anai Fonseca. If you need more details, please contact our friend Fabrício Assunção. Here in the screen, you have his phone number. So save the date between 18 and 20 of September. We will have our 9th European gathering in Vergemont, in Belgium. So we're gonna be there. It's gonna wonderful to see you all there with us. Don't need any background, don't need any special, no, just need your will to come, make friends, talk about our common topic, which is spiritism, and have a lovely weekend together. And at the same time, we will have the kids and the youth gathering. So, no excuse. Bring your kids along with you and leave them with our coordinators. Um, Please keep reading Spiritism Magazine. It's free of charge. Please just go to spiritismmagazine.org and select the article and the magazine you want to read. Thank you, Kardec Radio. Thank you, Buzz. Thank you, Francophone Spiritist Movement in France. Thank you, Life Spiritist Society. And thank you, Irish Spiritist Federation, for the support within this episode here today. So I want to say thank you, Elsa, for joining us. Thank you, Javier Cantu, for joining us. Anise Kaur, she just joined, but she will watch since the beginning. So thank you, Anise, for joining us. Thank you, Luviem, for joining us. Thank you, Nona Guimarães. So thank you, all those people who joining us today and those who will watch us later. So have a wonderful week. God bless you all. Have a wonderful week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye. God bless
And
you.
thank you,
Bye.
Munir. Thank you for your time with us.
Nice to
Always
see you,
good to have you
Munir.
here with us.
Good to
Bye.
see you. Thank
Nice to
you.
see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.